Hello, this is Jo from Maths Tutor Me. Today we're doing a topic called Factors, Multiples and Indices, and we're going to learn about divisibility today, or more specifically, we're going to learn about some divisibility tests. So there's some rules in this box here that if we follow these rules, we can work out whether numbers are divisible by certain things. So for example, a number is divisible by 2 if it is even. So any even number is divisible by 2. That's probably pretty much a common sense one. But let's go on to the next one. A number is divisible by 3 if the sum of the digits are also divisible by 3. Okay. A number is divisible by 4 if the last two digits are divisible by 4. A number is divisible by 5 if it ends in a 0 or a 5. That's also an easy one. A number is divisible by 6 if it is divisible by 2 and 3. So we'd have to use the test for 2 and 3. A number is divisible by 8 if the last three digits are divisible by 8. A number is divisible by 9 if the sum of its digits is divisible by 9. And a number is divisible by 10 if it ends in a 0. So the only number between 2 and 10 that wasn't mentioned is 7. So we don't really have a rule for 7. What we need to do is use short division. We don't have a test. So if we want to know if something's divisible by 7, we actually need to try to divide it. Okay, the other thing to note is if you have shown that a number is divisible by something, it will also be divisible by that number's factors. So if you show that something is divisible by 8, that means it's also going to be, that same number will also be divisible by 4 and 2 because they are factors of 8. Okay, so let's practice using these rules here in these questions. Use the divisibility tests to answer the following. Is 116 divisible by 4? Well, the test for divisible by 4 is if the last two digits are divisible by 4. Well, the last two digits are 16. Can I divide that by 4? That gives me 4, gives me a nice whole number. So therefore, yes. Yes, that number is divisible by 4. Question 2. Is 325 divisible by 10? To be divisible by 10, the number has to end in a 0, which this one doesn't. So that is a no. Question 3. Is 8,463 divisible by 3? That will mean that the sum of the digits has to be divisible by 3. So we have to add up these numbers. 8 plus 4, that's 12. Plus 6 is 18, plus 3 is 21. 21, does that divide nicely by 3? Yes, it does. It gives me 7. So that means yes, that is going to be divisible by 3. Okay, question 4. Is 2,342 divisible by 6? Okay, divisible by 6 means that it has to be divisible by 2 and 3. So let's check both of them. Is it divisible by 2 and is it divisible? Whoops, I didn't spell that right, did I? Oh, divisible by 3. Okay, so if it's divisible by 2, it has to be an even number, which this is. So yes, it is divisible by 2. So it's passed that test. Is it divisible by 3? That means the sum of the digits has to be divisible by 3. Well, let's add them up. 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 4 is 9, plus 2 is 11. So is 11 divisible by 3? No, that doesn't give me a nice answer, does it? That's a no. So because it doesn't pass both of those little tests, therefore no, 2,342 is not divisible by 6. Question 5. Is 7,412 divisible by 8? To be divisible by 8, the last three digits have to be divisible by 8. Now, I still probably need to do a little division for this because not too many people know if 412 is divisible by 8 or not just in their heads. So take those last three digits, do a little divide sign down here. So 4 divided by 8 we can't do. So let's take the first two digits. 41 divided by 8. Well, 5 8s are 40. and I will have a 1 remainder. 12 divided by 8 will go once, but I'm going to have a remainder in there of 4. Okay, so because there's a remainder, it's not going to go nice and evenly. Therefore, no, my number is not divisible by 8. Question 6, is 73,593 divisible by 9? If it is, then the sum of its digits is divisible by 9. We have to add these up. 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 5 is 15, plus 9 is 24, plus 3 is 27. So the sum is 27. If I divide that by 9, I get a nice 3, a nice even number. So that means yes, that very big number there is divisible by 9. Okay, so these tests are designed to speed up the process of finding if something is divisible or not. Okay, so keep that little table here nearby to help you with the practice questions on the next page. So here is a few questions for you to practice to see if you can use these rules that we've just learnt for yourself. So pause the video, try these questions, and then restart to see how you went. Okay, question 1. Is 47,230 divisible by 5? According to our table before, to be divisible by 5, it has to end in a 0 or a 5, which it does. So that means yes, that is divisible by 5. Question 2. Is 37,208 divisible by 8? To be divisible by 8, the last 3 digits have to be divisible by 8. So let's check it. The last 3 digits is 208. Can we divide that by 8? 2 divided by 8 can't do, so we'll go to 20. 20 divided by 8 goes 2 times, because that would be 16. And I would have a 4 remainder. 48 divided by 8 is 6. Okay, so yes, that went nicely without any remainders, so that is divisible by 8. Question 3, is 41,241 divisible by 4? Okay, to be divisible by 4, the last 2 digits have to be divisible by 4. So 41 is the last 2 digits. Can we divide that nicely by 4? Well, 4 tens is 40 and 4 elevens is 44. So 41 is not going to be a nice number. So no, that is not going to work. 4 is 74,313 divisible by 9. If it is, the sum of its digits has to be divisible by 9. So let's add them up. 7 and 4 is 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Okay, so 18 is the sum. Divide that by 9, we get a lovely, nice 2. So yes, that's divisible. Question 5, it says use short division to determine whether 4,328 is divisible by 7. Okay, so 7 we don't have a rule for, it's when we have to do our division. So 4, 3, 2, 8 divided by 7. 4 divided by 7 we can't do. 43 divided by 7, well, 6 7s are 42, so we'd have a 1 left over. 12 divided by 7 goes once. And 12 minus 7 gives me a 5 remainder. And 58 divided by 7, well, 7 8s are 56, but so that's going to give me a remainder of 2. All right, so it doesn't go nicely, so therefore no, that number is not divisible by 7. Question 6, 824 people are waiting to buy tickets for a concert. If there are 8 queues, is it possible for each queue to have the same number of people? Well, we would want to divide this number by 8, wouldn't we? Now, to know if something's divisible by 8, it means the last 3 digits, well, there is only 3 digits, is that number there divisible by 8? Well, 824, can we divide that by 8? Well, that goes once. 2 divided by 8 we can't do, so we'll put a 0, and the 2 will come down here with the 4. 24 divided by 8 goes 3 times without a remainder. So that means yes, it is possible. There would be 103 people in each queue. So in B it says, if 1,000 more people came, would your answer to part A change? So if we now had 1,824 people, could we put them into 8 equal queues? Well, remember our rule for being divisible by 8 is just if the last 3 digits are divisible by 8. So we haven't changed these numbers, so it doesn't matter how many thousands we put in front of it. If these numbers don't change, then our answer is not going to change. So would our answer change? No, it will not. Okay, that's it for our lesson today on divisibility. Keep practicing that and try to remember those divisibility tests. And join me next time for another Maths Tutor Me video. Bye for now.